Hello, everybody. My name is Zara, and today I'm going to go through all of the gimmick Pokemon over here, and I'm going to rank what the gimmick is, how much I like it or don't like it, and how much I would like use it or not use it. I can already tell you because I don't have all the gimmicks off the top of my head. Um, I have this website here, tiermaker.com, and there was already a tier template made for gimmick Pokemon. And some of these I don't necessarily consider gimmick Pokemon. I'm going to sort them all out, and then we're going to go through what the gimmick is, basically. And yeah, so just give me a second. I'm going to snap my fingers. Ta-da! So here we have, let me move myself closer. Here we have the gimmick Pokemon in their Pokedex order, and I'm going to go through them all. And I'm going to have the pages up. Fortunately, this is Bulbapedia, which means that there's going to be ads all over the place. Sorry about that in advance. So, Magikarp. Not exactly what I would consider a gimmick Pokemon, but essentially the gimmick, if you don't know, is that it's useless or almost completely useless. When you first catch it, it's usually its first move, or its only move is basically like Splash. Until level 15, the only move that Magikarp knows is Splash. And if we go to the page for Splash, Splash is a non-damaging normal type move. And yeah, basically all it does is it says that they splashed and nothing happens. What makes Magikarp interesting is that at level 20, it evolves into Gyarados, which is obviously a Gen 1 staple. It is phenomenal. Until like you get a couple generations in before you find like a good water type that's better than Gyarados, especially at an early point. Like once you get a good rod, you can get a Gyarados really easily, but you have to kind of suffer through the indignity which is Magikarp. Thankfully, at level 15, it gets Tackle, which is somewhat more useful, but yeah, it's a bit of a struggle. Um, this is where we start getting into the category of like it's iconic because it's Gen 1, but is it that great? I'm gonna go with a B for now, a tentative B until I figure out how the rest of this is gonna go, because it is iconic, but it's also very frustrating, and that's a kind of gimmick where I'm like, ugh, okay. Ditto. Ditto is another classic, because again, it's Gen 1. Ditto's whole thing is that it can take on the form of any Pokemon that it's battling. Okay, so from Red and Blue, capable of copying an enemy's genetic code to instantly transform itself into a duplicate of the enemy. I have never used Ditto in a team of mine, other than just seeing what it can do, because personally, that sounds like a challenge. Like that's literally a challenge. Is mirror matches nightmare for me. Like I don't like doing mirror matches. Ditto kind of forces a mirror match. The only thing I could possibly think is getting a Ditto to become something, maybe, let's say Gyarados, and then swapping out and swapping back in Gyarados when you're fighting like the rivals Charmander, let's say, right? Right, so you can swap it back in against Arcanine or Charmander or whatever, and that might be somewhat interesting. But 99% of the time, when you're fighting a trainer, it's not a trainer with a diverse team of like different types. It's like a gym. It's like a gym battle, or it's like a bug catcher, or it's a fisherman, or it's something like that, where like all you're doing is you're copying their freaking Magikarp, and like you have all the same moves as them. It's not like you get level appropriate moves or something. Like if all they know is Splash, all you're gonna know is Splash. So not my favorite. I know, again, I kind of want to put it in the B only because You know what? I'm gonna put Magikarp down because I do think Ditto is legitimately a gimmick, and I kind of like it for that. It's kind of iconic that um it does that. It's like the only one that does that basically. And I really like that. I can really appreciate that. Unknown is a Gen 2 Pokemon, and its whole thing is it has like each letter in the alphabet, right? Not that interesting to me, to be honest. The only thing I do like about Unknown, and it's a personal thing, is my first shiny that I ever found was an Unknown. Or the only one that I found in the wild that's not like a scripted thing was an Unknown. I actually found an Unknown Z. And then, like, half an hour later, I found an Unknown Y. Like, so it was really cool. I really liked that. Um, but yeah, it's really not much more than that. There's like 26 different forms in Gen 2. Then there's like two more that get exclamation mark and question mark in Gen 3. And like really that's really it. I mean, there's really not much more than that. It's not a very good mon. If you look at its like base stats, oh, this is the alphabet. If you look at its base stats, what is it? Yeah, it's not great. It's not great at all. It's really like it would be somewhat amusing if there was like a trainer or something that like had six unknowns and like it like spelled something out. That would be kind of funny, but like there's really not much you could do with an unknown. Man, I'm really ranking them all low. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna move Ditto up. I'm gonna move Magikarp stays the same, and then Unknown will be B, right? Because I do like Unknown better than Magikarp. I think Magikarp isn't really a gimmick, really. It's just kind of like a cute little thing. But yeah, Wobbuffet is literally the first one that I'm like, what is the gimmick of Wobbuffet? Okay. Okay. Sorry. I have never actually played with Wobbuffet, so I did not know this. But in case you aren't aware, in case you're also a anime watcher and maybe just forgot this whole thing, Wobbuffet doesn't have any attacking moves. I don't even know if you can teach him an attacking move, but yeah, if you go to Gen 2, at level 1, he knows Counter, Mirror Coat, Safeguard, and Destiny Bond, all of which are pretty decent defense moves. And that's it. And even when you go to Gen 10, or sorry, to Gen 9, same thing. It's Gen 1, you can have all of these, and if you evolve, but like, yeah, has no attacking moves. I think that's mildly interesting. From what I'm seeing on like Reddit and stuff, it can be really difficult to fight a Wobbuffet. Um, but I don't know. I don't know what I think about that. I you know what? I think that's mildly interesting. I I don't know. Yeah, like it's not you can't use them really like in any kind of battle. I don't think. I'm trying to think. Splash. I mean, let's just use the Gen 2, right? Because that Gen 9 has too many. Yeah, Miracle, Safeguard, Destiny Bond, Counter. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's kind of interesting. I'm kind of interested in that. You know what? Actually, because I'm kind of interested in that, I'm gonna put it in A tier. Again, a lot of these might move down. It might be a B by the end there, but you know what? I think it's finally interesting. Okay, so after looking into it, Shuckle looks like it's mostly the same. It has a really high defense, but like absolute bad offense, which is kind of the same thing as Wobbuffet. Like the fact that both of those are in the same generation actually kind of takes each other down a little bit. Yeah, you have defense is really high, special defense is really high. It's actually really high, like, stat total altogether. But yeah, the attack is really low, HP is really low, speed's really low. So like, I don't know. It's like a worse version of Wobbuffet maybe for me. Um, because it doesn't commit. Because he also has constrict and wrap. So like, it's not completely the same thing as Wobbuffet. Like, it can still attack, but like, it's not a very effective attack. So it's like a worse. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put it down by Magikarp. Um, cause yeah, that just sounds annoying. Why on earth would you ever use Shuckle? You know. Delibird, I'm pretty sure I know what Delibird's thing is, but so Delibird's whole thing, at least again, I'm going back to the original generations of each Pokemon because once you get to Gen 9, there's a couple of things that like it can learn like Drill Peck, which seems like that's not really like the gimmick of Delibird. So in Gen 2, Delibird's its one move is Present. And Present does this. So a random number is generated that there's like a 40% chance that it'll hit with 40 base power, a 30% chance it'll hit with 80% or 80 base power, 10%, 120, and then like a 20% chance that it will heal a quarter of the target's maximum HP. So it's because it's one of those things where it's kind of like metronome a little bit, where like it can do really a lot of different things. It's not very reliable. Um, I just the fact that it can heal the target's Pokemon is kind of interesting. I kind of like it actually. You know what? I'm gonna move Unknown down because I actually think Unknown in comparison with a lot of these is not that great. Magikarp definitely at the bottom. Unknown and Shuckle together. Delibird there. Ditto and Wobbuffet there. Got it. Gen 2 had a lot of gimmick Pokemon apparently. So Smeargle is kind of another Ditto situation. Its signature move is Sketch, which permanently copies the last move used by the opponent, with a few exceptions, thus allowing Smeargle to learn almost any move. Again, I would never use that in a battle, unless it is like, let's say, like you are fighting a Dragon type, and it's a Dragon type move. Maybe in a case like that, I could understand that, because Dragon type moves are really strong against Dragon types, right? That's pretty understandable. I don't know that I would ever use that in a battle. It's kind of it's a less interesting version of Ditto. I don't know. That's a hard one to kind of figure out, because it could actually be. I'm gonna put it in B for right now, but I'll have to come back to that, because that could be useful, and it doesn't do what Ditto does, which is pigeonhole you into using the same moves as the opponent. Like mirror match properly. Like as far as I'm aware, it still stays a normal type. But that's interesting. That might be very interesting. Shedinja is, full disclosure, my favorite gimmick Pokemon. I love it. I just finished a Alpha Sapphire playthrough, and I lovingly call Shedinja my ace because I freaking love Shedinja. I love Shedinja so much. I'm gonna pull up the page. It's S tier. I'm gonna pull up the page. So Shedinja's whole thing is that it has 1 HP. 1 HP. But the only way that you can actually attack Shedinja is with a super effective move. So Shedinja is, I've heard people call it a a glass cannon because it can break really easily. Because obviously with 1 HP, it just takes one hit to knock him out. But like it can literally get you through. Like it can solo pretty much a psychic type gem, or a water type gem. Like it is that good because uh like I can pull up the type chart, but like there's only a couple of types that will actually be able to hit Shedinja. One of them is fire, one of them is ice, one of them I think is ghost. There's a couple of types that will be able to hit him, but if it's not one of those types, and if it doesn't have any moves of that type, it is phenomenal against it. Um, I love him. I love my little boy. He was in my championship team. He was amazing. I loved him so much. Uh, just a side note though, it is still affected by like conditional stuff. So if he gets poisoned, like he can still be made poisoned. Uh, he can still be made confused. If you put like a trap move on the field or something, like that was happening when I was in the champion battle. I He almost immediately put spikes in the middle of the field, and it didn't matter what I did. I could not push a ninja in because as soon as you swapped in Shedinja, he got hit by a spike and he died. So didn't love that very much. I kind of wanted him to be in that champion fight. C'est la vie, didn't get to happen. Minin and Plusle. Unless Minin and Plusle have something that I'm not aware of. It's just literally like Minin and Plusle are like basically the same Pokemon. It's kind of the unknown situation where, and for that I'm gonna put it in the same tier as unknown, where it's like you can have a Plusle or an unknown. It doesn't really make a big difference because they all have, I'm pretty sure, the same moves. I'm pretty sure they learn the same moves either way. Hey, so I want to do an amendment because I did end up looking up what Minin Plusle's gimmick is, and it's basically that Plusle is more attack and that Minin is more defense boosting, and like when you have them both on the same field, it's like it's a good combo, I guess. I would never. I don't. I like. How often do you do a double battle? Honestly, it seems silly. It seems silly to have a like two of the same typings in one team. It seems goofy to kind of rely on that together. Like I guess trainer. Like I can remember like a pair of twins trainers that did it, but like that's never going to be useful in a normal playthrough. So just wanted to amend that before I moved on. So Feebas is basically a ripoff Magikarp, but it's like rarer to find. Like it's harder to find Feebas, but it evolves into melodic. Not for me. You know, we already have Magikarp at home. Magikarp at home. Feebas. Like cast form. As you can see on the screen, there's 3 forms of cast form. There is sunny form, rainy form, and snowy form. And yeah, basically cast form changes form based on the weather. So if it's sunlight outside, it's sunny form. If it's rainy outside, rainy form. Snow or hail, it's snowy form. Never use it in anything other than like just trying it out. Again, when I was playing the Alpha Sapphire playthrough, you get a cast form, and it was like mildly interesting, but like that's it. Like it's only moves that I had at the time, and it might just be what it is, what its moves are. Let me try to pull it up. Um, well, yeah, let's pull up Gen 3. Yeah, you go to Gen 3. Its main moves are Tackle, Water Gun, Ember, Powder Snow, and in order to change the weather, there's Rain Dance, Sunny Day, and Hail. And if you actually want to use Cast Form to its most degree, you need to have all of those in as moves, and then Weather Ball, which has a 50 power 50 power um move. Like that's number one, its strongest move. And yeah, and you can't really teach it anything else, because if you go all in on the water, then what is the point of having a cast form? The whole point of having cast form is that it can change forms. So you're kind of stuck having three condition moves. Is that what they're called? Like, it changes the environment, and then one move that actually does like real power. And when I got the cast form during the Alpha Sapphire playthrough, that's what the cast form was. Is those four moves at the end there. Wasn't that interesting? Didn't like it that much. I'll say it's better than Magikarp and Feebas. Um, I'll put it in the Shuckle category. It's better than. I'll say it is better than Unknown, but it's really pushing it for me. I'm really not a big fan of Cast Form. So Kecleon's whole thing is that when you hit it with a type of move, it changes into that typing. You hit it with a water move, it becomes a water type. You hit it with a fire move, it becomes a fire type. Its normal typing is normal typing. So it is like a Ditto, but you don't actually, I don't think, get those moves. It's like Smeargle, but again, you don't get those moves. Its normal set of moves is normal type moves is a ghost type, some dark type, rock type at the end if you somehow level it up to 49, which Godspeed if you do. I don't know why anyone would ever do that. I no, it goes with Feebas in Magikarp. Just not that interesting to me. I don't like not having control over what typing it is. And again, I don't think that really helps you at all during battle. It's just kind of mildly interesting. And that's what a lot of these gimmicks are, is it's like mildly interesting. Um but unless you can actually use it effectively, I don't see any reason that you would put it, like, for me personally, like, there's a reason to use Shedinja, at least to have it on the team, right? There's a reason to have a Ditto, maybe. There's a reason to have a Wobbuffet. Anything less than A tier is like, I don't, I wouldn't do it personally. But like B tier is like, I wouldn't do it personally. But if that's something that you can like make work, that's cool. And then C tier and below, I would never use it on a team. Not really. Like, I would try it out, but like it's not really like for me. So here we are with Chatot. I've never used Chatot, but from what I found, Chatat's signature move is Chatter, and Chatter sounds mildly interesting actually. You as the player can record audio that is possibly played in the game. That automatically sounds really interesting. Um, as a move, let's see what its power is. Um, as a move, it is a 65 power move. It's a flying type move. Uh, that is really interesting. I've never actually played with this Pokemon, but I'm playing Platinum right now. I don't know if you can get Chatot in Platinum. You probably can. If I can, I'm definitely going to add that to the team, and I'm definitely going to see if I can make this happen, because that sounds actually really interesting. I really want to try that out. It's, you know what, for that alone, for the fact that I'm really actually interested in putting that on my team, S tier. S tier. Gotta be. Yeah. I don't know. Not this design did not make me think I wanted to put it on my team. That gimmick makes me want to put it on my team. That sounds awesome, and it's a very powerful move. Like, again, legitimately a move, like a one that you would actually put on your team, one that might actually be interesting. And finally, we're gonna end it with Wishy Washy, which on first appearance I kind of want to say is just another Magikarp or Feebas, but it's kind of more interesting than that. So again, its whole thing is that it's kind of pathetic, but that it can become the school form, which I have to presume is more like powerful. But yeah, like, so Wishy Washy's whole thing is that in its solo form, it's kind of small and meek, but it becomes school form. I think at level 20, so it can actually be a decent member of the team, as long as its HP is above 25%. Once it gets below 25%, it goes back to solo form. I I'm gonna be honest. No hate to any Wishy Washy fans out there. That sounds odd to me. Like, this is one of those things where I could maybe see it being interesting, but like I would never put that on my team. I want, like, for me, I want reliable on my team. I don't want like this kind of thing where it's like, I don't know. It just doesn't, like, it's kind of giving me Magikarp Feebas vibes. But it's like, oh, it looked really pathetic, but it could become something really powerful. But like worse, because at least with like Magikarp and Feebas, once you hit like level 20 or whatever it is with Feebas, I don't remember with Feebas, you just get melodic or you just get Gyarados. Whereas with Wishy Washy, it always can become solo form again. For that alone, it can't be anything more than like a B for me. But yeah, this is my tier list. So at the top, Shedinja, Chatot, uh, awesome, really cool, really unique, and could definitely see that on my teams. Uh, then you have Ditto and Wobbuffet, which is like, yeah, it's still very interesting. It was like the first of its kind or whatever, and again, I could see you doing something with that. I probably wouldn't, but I could see it. B is like, I definitely wouldn't put that on my team, but like I can see the vision. I can see like how that might be very useful. C is like, okay, like, I could not see using this on a team of mine. Like, I get what the gimmick is, and again, for me, unknown, I do like unknown as like an aesthetic thing. Like, if there is a game with unknown in it, I would want to collect all of the unknowns, right? I'm half tempted to get all of the shiny unknowns because I got Z and Y. Like, that's very appealing, but like, I would never use that in a team. I couldn't possibly imagine ever trying to use unknown in a team. Like, maybe it's a challenge, like spell something interesting with unknown and then try to beat all of like fire red, or leaf green. Could be interesting. Of course, you can't get unknown until you finish fire red and leaf green, but that's beside the point. Um, and D is just like, I no, it's like not that interesting. It's just like at the end of the day, Feebas and Magikarp are just like normal Pokemon. They're just like very weak normal Pokemon, that can become powerful. And Kecleon is just, no. You're not gonna change my typing in the middle of a battle. We're not doing that. Let me know what you guys think down below. I am very interested to see how you guys, the community, feel about these gimmicks, because yeah, could be interesting. Could be interesting. Talk guys later. Bye.